Happy new moon in Taurus. What a grounded energy. Really earthy, very connected to Gaia, Mother Nature. And Taurus being the sign of, sustainability. So I'm here today to talk about the messages that are coming through with this Taurus energy for this new moon related to the tarot archetypes. So we've got the Hierophant here, as well as the Empress. Yeah. So the Hierophant is connected to Taurus, the sign of Taurus, and the Empress is connected to the ruling planet of Taurus, which is Venus. And so Hierophant, well, it is the year of the Hierophant, first of all. 2021 is 5, and Hierophant is number 5 in the tarot. And the sun is in Taurus right now, so there's the Hierophant energy in the sun and the moon right now. So the Hierophant energy is very, very strong, so I'll focus on talking about that a little bit. So the Hierophant energy, it's in the Marseille and older versions of the tarot, it's related to the Pope. So there is this kind of religious symbology of it. And so one of the major themes with Hierophant is about beliefs. And what it brings up, since it's a number 5, so we've got 4, which is the number of structure and stability, and our society is based on this quite a lot. But the number 5, that is, the destabilizing factor. So often when I have a 5 in the tarot, it is a destabilizing of the structure. It's like a very creative space, actually. So it could bring up some feeling of anxiety potentially, or like stress, because it's the wild, it's the unknown, it's possibility and potential. But it could also be very exciting because it's creative energy. It's a very powerful energy, right? And it's related to feminine energy. So 5 is related to the Venus rose. So that is the geometric pattern that Venus shows as it's moving around in space around us. So the Hierophant, so related to the 5 energy, it is all about a reckoning, a questioning, a deep questioning about beliefs. So in relation to the Empress, so the Empress is very feminine, also very feminine energy, very related to love, beauty, pleasure, sensuality, like the senses when you're thinking of, smell and touch and these things. And then, Mama Gaia, nature, is a great teacher with this energy. It talks about really radically receiving in our senses, really receiving like nourishment, really nourishing energy, really and both of them have a really like slow pace, like a very not an anxious rushing pace, but it's a very slow, patient pace, right? So in the Empress we can see that she has like a pregnant belly, and she's in no rush. She's just like looking over here, and it's all about like the rhythms, right? Like different rhythms and beats. And this is a very slow beat. As we know, nature takes time. We plant a seed, we nourish it, and this is what we're in right now. So with the beliefs, we're in like a spring cleaning moment, right? Very very apropos. We're in the spring cleaning of weeding our garden. So what beliefs, what weeds are there that we would like to get to the root of that and pull that out, What do we need to clean out in order to make room for what we would like to sustain and grow in our garden? For the season. And then, what will we nourish? So the Empress helps us really nourish this with love, with self love, with radical receiving of love and nourishment. Really letting it in, really taking that time to rest in the receiving of it, to enjoy it, to enjoy the pleasures, And the Hierophant energy is also it's a very internal process. It's like really, as we can see in the card, it's like the eyes are closed. We have the Hierophant and the Priestess down there. We have the inner child in the heart. And it's a very internally directed way of looking, right? And so it is really taking stock of what we choose, like what we feed in terms of our beliefs. And this could be about like really anything. But one of the themes that is coming up for me and in the collective is about like this rushing, like this pushing. Like if I don't push or rush or like, then there's like this fear that it won't get done. But it's like, everything has its cycle, and we can relax into the process of birthing things. We can enjoy the process of birthing things and trust that it will unfold as it needs to, as it should, and really deprogram this grasping energy, this pushing and pulling energy, and surrender to, the flow, the natural rhythm and the flow that nature really informs us about, right? The Hierophant energy is also very much speaking about like the divine within, listening to that voice within. And the voice within is not the one that's yelling and screaming and anxious and talking really fast and like saying all these complicated stories about things. The deep, quiet, simple inner voice, that's the one. That's the one that's connected to divine guidance. It's just a little whisper, it's just a little nudge, it's just a really soft, like, if you think of like confidence, it is confidence someone that's like boasting and like, like pushing it out. Like, no, like when we really feel someone rooted and grounded and like it just is. It just is. How powerful is it to just like, just know, just this like deep knowing that it doesn't need to scream. It just so is that thing that it's undeniable, the being of it. And the Hierophant is about this teacher-student axis as well, and talks about the humility, about understanding that each of us is a teacher and a student at the same time, and letting that flow happen of like knowing when to listen and knowing and like really being humble about what it is that that we're receiving. Like we'll block the receiving of it out of fear. Sometimes we will like block because we don't want to hear that. So really getting humble and really listening, really deep listening. That's a big theme right now. I'm going to listen to see if anything else wants to come through with the Empress energy. Well, the Empress energy also, there's this deep remothering process, like this deep mothering energy that wants to be spoken about. So it's like, how do I tend to myself? How am I mothering myself? we often feel value in giving to others, um, and then block ourselves from receiving from others and from ourselves, you know. And so, how can we offer this beautiful these beautiful gifts and the beautiful essence that is ourselves, to ourselves as well, like to not erase ourselves in the equation. You know, it's about radical receiving and receiving from ourselves first, filling our cup, you know. And yeah, the mothering is also in getting a very strong message about the body, like because the Empress is very much about embodiment, right? And so we are animals. We are humans and we are animals. And our body has messages for us, right? So when we're feeling tensions in our bodies, tensions in our thoughts, tensions in, like, these are all like tensions. It's a message and a sign, mm, that we are, yeah, that we have some kind of like accumulation, right? And to mother ourselves, to take care of ourselves in that, is to, yeah, tend to those tensions. And embodiment practices are a really wonderful way to do that, because the thoughts and the stories and the things that carry tension, you know, those like anxious things or those fearful things, or those kind of violent things, whatever it is that's going on in that process, um, it's like the symptom of the thing. It's not the root of the thing. It's not the core of the thing. It's just like we can watch it, you know, like with that Hierophant energy, like, um, yeah, see what, instead of like focusing on the thoughts and the things, like coming back to the beliefs, like the core of it, like coming back to the root of these things, and that's where we can really address it. So when something comes from spirit, it passes through mental, it gets in the emotional body, and then it gets into the physical body. The physical body is a very powerful way to move the energy. To it's a mirror, right? So all of these things are indicating to us, okay, something needs some loving attention here. So how do we give it that loving attention? I really love to do it through, yeah, embodiment practices like dancing or singing, like, you know, with the breath and the diaphragm, and moving that through, expressing what's there that needs to be expressed, that needs to, the accumulation that needs to be discharged, that needs to be, yeah, cleared from our channel, cleared from our channels. That's the other really big message coming through, is about the channel, keeping the channel clear. So when we start to recognize that these accumulations and these tensions are the things that are blocking us from hearing that deep inner voice and trusting that deep inner voice, um, it is up to us. It is our responsibility to take care of this body, of this bottle, of this channel, you know, of this human body instrument that we are. And so, yeah, remothering, taking care, doing what we need to do to move that energy and to clear ourselves, so that we can come into that space of deep listening, and we can really hear that voice, because that voice is so soft, that voice is so quiet. And if there's so much noise going on, if there's so much tension, if there's so many things that are pulling us in all these different directions, then it's very hard to hear that quiet voice under all the ruckus, right? Yes. So I hope that this was beneficial to you. Yeah, this is what wanted to come through for right now. Um, yeah, I'm so happy to be able to share this with you all, and I hope you're doing wonderfully well. The new moon is a perfect time to plant a seed of intention, and so I'll share with you what mine is. My seed of intention has to do with this last point that I spoke about, and it's to really honor my being, my body, my animal, by taking care of, yeah, releasing these accumulations and tensions, so that I can really hear what that deep inner voice is guiding me towards, and I can surrender to that, and I can trust that deeper, and I can move from that divine guidance within that is not based on beliefs that I took from culture or society or family or lineage or whatever it may be, right? So a reckoning of all that, and a re-anchoring into what it is that my like divine guidance is, and that's what the Hierophant is about. It's about um, yeah, really trusting the source and understanding that the source is within. The resonance is within. God is not without us. God is within us. Thank you. Blessings.